Oh, it came off. Good.
Now, here are your hosts, Hank Davis and Mello Betts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Mello's NFL Weekly. We're the NFL Fan Podcast, brought to you by Tiger Prince Entertainment. I'm your host, former professional athlete Hank Davis, and joining me on the line, he is our resident professor of sports and the gambling guru himself. He's Mello Betts. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, Buenos Aires, you Sandinistas.
And whatever that might mean.
Whatever.
Mello, we've got a lot to cover, so shall we jump right into the news?
Feet first, baby.
It's time for the news, a roundup of all the biggest headlines.
Monday night, Texans linebacker Brian Cushing suffered a torn ACL after a cut block was thrown on him by Jets offensive guard Matt Slauson. The often open-mouthed Jared Allen said, "My knee is just as valuable as Tom Brady's in my eyes. There are some hits on the defensive side that could be illegal and probably could save some defensive players." Mello, is the rather large-mouthed Jared Allen, is he right on the money with this?
He is, because a lot of people say that that's not, even though it's within the rules, that is a play that shouldn't be in football, hitting a guy when he's not looking like that low, when he's not looking like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, why is that not an illegal hit? Why is that, if some people would interpret that as being a dirty, quote unquote, dirty play, then why is it legal to do that? I mean, we got to have a rules committee. Why aren't they on these things until something bad really happens?
I've got one thing to say to you on that. Who sells more jerseys, Mello, Brian Cushing or Tom Brady?
Gee, Brady.
There's your answer. You get Unfortunately, that's the answer. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Bob Griffin III took part in the Washington Redskins full practice for the first time this week and appears to be set to play against the Vikings. Hey, which way is the sideline? No.
Oh, boy.
Kidding. No, but he left that game looking out his ear hole, Mello. Is his career just going to be shortened? Should we just set aside the fact that he plays with this reckless abandon, or should we look at this and go, man, he's probably got 4 or 5 years in the league?
He's got to get it. This has got to. I mean, in his next game, you have to see some signs that he understands that he needs to get down and be decisive about when to get down and doing so. But I had somebody actually bring up, do some of these star players, do they their concussion tests a little different than these other guys? Because he got knocked the freak out now. And you knew darn well he was going to get the start. You knew he was going to get the start this week.
Yep. Who sells more jerseys, Mello? No. That's all it's about, man. Money.
Got that right.
Oh, Robert Griffin's not starting? I don't think I'll go to the game after all. It's all about money.
True that.
All 4 players involved in the New Orleans Saints bounty scandal have filed an appeal asking that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell remove himself from the case because he can't be impartial, Mello. Number one, I want this situation to just disappear, go away. But, Mello, what are your thoughts on this next phase of this never-ending battle?
I tell you what, I'm with you on this. Can this whole situation please just go away? But maybe he should get removed from this because they just do not see eye to eye with the old commish at all. So, I mean, there's a level of disdain for him from these players at this point. Nothing good's going to come out of this, or I don't see where there's ever going to be any kind of reconciliation.
No, but there's so much evidence against those guys. Should they just let it go? I mean,
you would think, but I mean, because there's an underwritten culture, they still don't believe that they were really in on anything wrong.
Pretty pitiful.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just like the underwritten culture for conclusions. Well, he just a little woozy, throw him back in there and all that stuff. Good old boy network.
Did you just combine concussions and conclusion?
Conclusion. That's the conclusion I concuss to.
Me go back to pressing buttons. Baltimore Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis, who's a 13-time Pro Bowler, was asked, does he still have it at a press conference? Lewis reacted with laughter, Mello, and you and I both know in boxing, laughter means you're woozy. But Ray Lewis responded with, keep watching. I've heard that my whole career. I've never picked up a phone. I've never texted a person that writes about me. I've never had a conversation before. I don't even pay it no attention. I just keep rolling. But at some point, Mello, his career is going to, the sun is going to set on his career. Do you think that's going to happen after this season or very soon?
I don't know. He just keeps going and going. I mean, look at him. He's still a physical specimen. And after reading that regiment, he's so much more serious than a lot of guys. That's what I think keeps him into this, uber elite class here. Because look at the regimen for the food and drink and working out. I don't think a lot of these guys take it that serious. So that's going to keep him up there for who knows how long.
You would just think that very soon that we'll start noticing productivity, drop off.
You would think so, but look they don't even have T-Sizzle there this year. And you get T-Sizzle back. How many more years does that add on to his career?
Very true. Coach Rex Ryan said Darrelle Revis will have surgery on his torn ACL. He said this on Thursday. And that the Jets have finally placed the cornerback on season-ending IR. So, so at the press conference, he's saying, I know what I told you guys. I know what I said, but man, we really need that roster spot. And we knew this was the outcome. I mean, come on, man. Come on. How smart would that have been to try to get him back? Now, I'm pretty sure that the Jets and everybody in the world knows that they won't be playing football at the end of January, no. Let alone needed, so it's silly. And sticking with the Jets, now Colts backup quarterback Drew Stanton, who used to be the number 2 man for the Jets before Tebow came to town, allegedly was promised that the Jets promised him that they wouldn't bring in another backup after they signed him, and they claim to have told him he would be given the chance to start if Sanchez struggled. Mello, you might be a little closer to Drew Stanton than I am. Any thoughts on this?
Oh, I believe him. Yeah, because when he signed there, he thought he was getting an opportunity. And when they signed Tebow, he was hot. And he was saying that stuff then, that's not what you guys said, and they let him go. So I'm inclined to believe him. They didn't really try to block him from leaving town. So I believe what he said.
What a dirty deal when you think about it.
That's life in the big city, though. We're talking about New York, all right?
Use guys. I got my Yankees hat on, though, for you New Yorkers, because I am a Yankees fan. Beat some Tigers tonight. All right, former Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw was critical of the way Drew Brees and the Saints celebrated last weekend.
Oh, boy.
Bradshaw said that he wasn't impressed with Brees setting a record by throwing for at least 1 touchdown pass in 48 straight games. He also was upset with the NFL for allowing Sean Payton and the other suspended Saints personnel to attend the game. Mello, do you agree or disagree?
I am not with TB on this one. And you're right about these old guys. They're got to be talking about something at all times. I don't care if he agrees with it. It's what happened, He's not the running anything here. He's not the commissioner or any big to-do in this league. He's just a commentator. I think when I want you to commentate on something, then you commentate on it, but don't start making up stuff to commentate on.
I think he was mad because it was hard enough for him to throw 48 touchdowns, period. Oh,
yeah, this is
oops. Sorry. And lastly for the news, Kelvin Johnson has a unique take on the issue of concussions.
Oh, shit.
Johnson, who took a helmet-to-helmet shot against the Vikings a couple weeks ago, said, "He rung my bell pretty good. He got me. He caught me around the chin. That was a good hit." It's a part of football. You get concussed, you got to keep on playing. You can't get afraid to go across the middle anymore than you were at the beginning. Mello, can you take that statement as you get concussed and you've got to keep on playing, you got to stay in the game, or how do you take that?
The way most people were taking it as you stay in the game. Maybe he meant it the other way, but immediately I thought that's what he probably meant, stay in the game, because he got his bell rung.
Which way to my sidelines? Mello, are you ready for That's Not Football?
Oh, yeah.
That's not football. Lawrence Taylor had some advice for Tim Tebow to be able to make it in New York. I would say he would have to go to church, temple, wherever he goes. Find a nice girl, Taylor said while mixing in some colorful language. I mean, marry her if he has to. But he's got to get some of that pressure off. Mello?
That's not football, man.
Minnesota's confidence is sky high. So high, in fact, that Vikings running back Adrian Peterson felt confident telling the Star Tribune that he and Percy Harvin are the two best players in the NFL. "I know talent," Peterson said when asked if Harvin is the Scottie Pippen to his Air Jordan. "I can watch Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and see the difference. There are two Jordans on this team. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just very confident in my abilities." They're talking basketball, Mello. These are football players talking about comparing themselves to basketball players. Mello?
Well, then that's not football. See? That's that.
A day after declining to speak about his personal life, Eagles quarterback Michael Vick finally cleared up Milkbone Gate and confirmed that he and his family own a dog. Mello?
That is not football.
He needs to control the turnovers instead of worrying about feeding the puppy.
Doggone it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost at the end of my chain with this guy.
Whoa.
Somebody put a muzzle on him. He talks too much. Former Jets defensive end Mark Gastineau was inducted along with Wesley Walker into the franchise's Ring of Honor on Monday night. Gastineau addressed the crowd at halftime as the Jets were losing to the Titans. He called out the fans for booing and sounded like he was hammered, Mello, while he was doing so.
That's not football.
Mello, if I can find this, do you want to hear his short little
Oh, yeah.
diatribe?
I'd love to.
Oh, my goodness. And I want you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 drunkenness.
Okay.
Tell me how drunk he might have been. That's fine. I think I got it right here. Let's see.
God bless you. I have a bad voice, but I don't have a bad heart. Every single fan that is in these seats is here for a reason. And the reason is not to boo. You don't do that. If your team is down, they need you more than ever. So give the New York Jets support. And I want to thank everyone here that is my family and Wes's family and the New York Jets. Woody Johnson all the way through the organization. Don't you dare. We have a beautiful stadium. The Lord God gave it to us, and let's enjoy it and win in the second half. Hallelujah!
Oh, my
Mello, the
word.
Lord is handing out football stadiums now. Oh.
That's 7 out of 10 on the drunken meter, and his blood alcohol was definitely over 0.2.
Nice.
Golly.
Mello, is it time for some fools to shut up?
Yeah, they should. One of them just now.
San Francisco 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh didn't take kindly to New York Giants offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride's comments that 49ers defensive end Justin Smith, quote, gets away with murder. Harbaugh said that Gilbride's outrageous, irrational statements regarding Justin Smith's play is first an absurd analogy, and second, it is an incendiary comment targeting one of the truly exemplary players in this league. It is obvious that the Giants coaching staff's sole purpose is to use their high visibility to both criticize and influence officiating. Mello, it's time for him to shut up.
Shut up!
What a baby.
A guy that intimidates officials in his own right with his temper tantrums and stuff is going to talk about somebody else. Give me a break.
Yeah, and if you're as backslap happy as Jim Harbaugh is, you don't have any room to talk. Following their loss to the Titans on Thursday night, the Steelers are off to a disappointing 2-3 start. As much of a letdown as it may have been, Rashard Mendenhall sees that as no reason for the fans to get down on the Steelers, so he took to Twitter. Seriously, if you're going to talk trash about your team and everybody on it, don't call yourself a fan. A fan is a supporter. So the fans can't voice their opinion, but you can get on Twitter and voice yours.
Yeah.
Shut up!
And lastly, if the Titans are looking for words of encouragement in the wake of their tough start this season, they're not going to get it from the highest paid player on the team. Chris Johnson said that we're not even close to being a good team yet.
Ooh.
So Chris, I think you should.
Shut up!
Nice. Mello, every once in a while I'm handed a manila envelope with something at the top that goes a little like this. My mission, should I choose to accept it. and then I hand off a briefcase to a man in a black top hat.
Okay.
So it's pretty much a conspiracy sports show moment of the week.
It's time for the conspiracy sports moment of the week.
One unnamed Green Bay Packers player reportedly thinks the officials have it out for the Packers. It's definitely on us as players, the anonymous player said. But I think the refs are out to get us this year. Mello, I did some digging, and I looked at the line for the Green Bay Packers. They're 2-3, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they have 11 games left, and the over-under for them before the season in Vegas, 11.5 wins.
Ooh.
So that critical call in Seattle could come back to bite gamblers everywhere.
Ooh. You're talking the long term. All right.
You think I'm on to something, or you think
Might be on to something.
You think this is tinfoil hat worthy?
Bigger scheme of things, looking down the road, this could be serious.
So let's keep an eye on that. Let's see if they do get 12 wins, or if they get just, or if they come in under. Because if they come in under, which is really likely, I hate to say that, it could be a conspiracy.
Hey, Dusty, we got some guy on the intranet digging up things and such, all right?
Bust his kneecaps. That won't hurt me because I just sit down in front of a computer all day.
Oh.
I'm showing them. Well, Mello, sometimes in the NFL, people get in trouble, and then we have to talk about them. That's why they end up on the rap sheet.
Calling all cars. Be advised, we have NFL players on the loose.
Suburban Detroit police say they have closed their investigation into a traffic accident involving Detroit Lions defensive lineman Ndamukong Suh.
No.
Dearborn police say the accident was minor and fault cannot be determined. Steve Vines of Livonia says the accident was not minor and he has at least $500 in damage to his car. He says that Sue sideswiped his vehicle Thursday and did not stop at the scene.
Goodness.
Mello, it's hard to determine who's at fault when there's hundreds of dollars of bills just flying around and landing right in your pocket, right?
I couldn't see clearly, that's for sure.
I couldn't see through all those hundreds. I don't know who did it. Of course you don't. Jeez. A Los Angeles County judge on Friday ordered that Anthony Wayne Smith, a former defensive lineman who played for 8 years in the 90s for the Oakland Raiders and Los Angeles Raiders, must stand trial for 4 murders, Mello.
Whoa.
Yikes. Yikes.
He
All
took
right.
that being a Raider right to heart.
Oh, man. Don't leave it on the field, folks, literally. Fined $15,750 by the league were Packers linebacker Nick Perry, Seattle Seahawks defensive end Chris Clemens, St. Louis Rams defensive end Robert Quinn, and San Diego Chargers linebacker Melvin Ingram. New York Jets guard Matt Slauson was docked $10,000 for his illegal block on Texans linebacker Brian Cushion. Shouldn't that have been more than $10,000?
Why wasn't it called illegal during the game?
Thank you. Good point.
Oh boy.
Colts defensive end and Mello's one of his favorites, Corey Redding, was fined $7,875 for unnecessary roughness against Packers running back Cedric Benson. Titans defensive tackle Senderick Marks was docked $7,875 for unnecessary roughness on a late hit against Minnesota. Rams defensive tackle Jermel Fujo was fined $7,875 for roughing the passer when he grabbed Cobb by the face mask in an attempt to take him down.
That ought to do it.
He got his helmet. He was like, I got something kind of roundish. That's his head. So that's going to do it for the rap sheet. Mello, anything before we have to make our picks against the spread?
I'm ready to pick them.
Ugh, I don't know if I am. But we'll do it anyway.
It's time to pick 'em. Remember, picks are made for entertainment purposes only.
All right, Mello. Thursday night was a nice game for me. I took the Titans. They were getting, 6.5, and they won the game outright. I took them.
Won it. I was on the wrong side of that one, my friend.
And Mello was on the wrong side of a Titan Music City Miracle.
Didn't remember the Titans.
They're easily forgettable, even when their own team doesn't think they're good. All right, Cincinnati. The Bungles will lay 2.5 points at Cleveland. I think this is actually going to be a nice matchup. I would love to be watching this one live, but I'm going to take Cincinnati to win this game by 3 or more. Who are you taking, Mello?
Yeah, I would love to take my Browns, but they have given me no reason to take them, so I'll take Cincinnati. And the Cleveland can lose, what will this be, like their 10th straight divisional game?
Nice. At the New York Jets. The Jets are going to lay 3.5 to the visiting Indianapolis Colts. And I am calling for letdown on the Colts. I think the Jets are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it pretty easy. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm thinking that they want you to take Indy, but I have no reason to take the Jets. I think there's going to be a dogfight. Even if Indy lets down, I don't know if the Jets got enough manpower to really do much. I'm going to think they're still going to be feeling pretty good from this, knowing that they can come back. And I think this should be a pretty good, entertaining game. Might not be the best football to watch, but I think it's going to be a close game. So I'm going to take the hook in Indy.
Okay. Colts going to be missing some players due to injury.
Yeah, Jets, they're missing some talent.
At Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers are going to lay 4 points to the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, who do you really take in this game?
Ugh.
I mean, what do you do with
Kansas City is coming across country.
Yeah,
how do you like a bad team coming across the country?
That's the only reason I'm taking Tampa Bay is because they're gonna sit on their butts on the beach, and Kansas City's gonna fly all that way to lose and then go home. So who are you taking? I'll take Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I am trying not to be mean about Kansas City, since I picked them to win the AFC West, and that makes me look completely ridiculous at this point. So I'm trying not to be bitter about picking against them, but I am not taking them coming all the way across the country against anybody. So
Even against
give me Tampa somehow.
Even against some little leaguers or something?
No, I'm not taking them against Sister Mary's School of the Blind and Deaf either.
Hey, those guys are good. At Baltimore, the Ravens are going to lay... Oops, I skipped one. At Atlanta, the Falcons are going to lay...
I see why.
Yeah, you know why I'm skipping that one. But at Atlanta, the Falcons are laying 9 to my Raiders. The Raiders are going to come all the way across country. Being a bad team, come all the way across country, play at 1 o'clock. So some breakfast time for them. And play Atlanta. Give me Atlanta minus the 9. This one's gonna get ugly. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'd like to take the dog in this one, but I just don't see where the Raiders have a leg to stand on. So I'm gonna try to cover the big spread with Atlanta.
At Baltimore, the Ravens are going to lay 3.5 to the Dallas Cowboys. What about them boys? I don't know. You could flip a freaking coin on this game. Ravens to cover. I hate taking them to cover games. But Dallas looks pretty meek. But I'm going to take Dallas to shock the world. Surprise them all. And I'll probably be wrong. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'm taking Dallas to play good this week. I mean, it's a long season, and they have played bad already in several games. I say they show up this week and give the Ravens everything they want and then some.
At Philadelphia, the Eagles are going to lay 3.5 to the visiting Detroit Lions. Lions really struggling lately, but the Eagles, with all those dang turnovers, they'll keep you in a game, man. So this should be battle of the turnovers. And I think Detroit will stay in the game, lose by a field goal, but that hook will save me. So I'm going to take Detroit with those points because Philadelphia, the ball security against that front line of Detroit, that might not be so good. Who are you taking?
I got Philly in this one. I don't have a lot of faith in Philly, but I have no faith in Detroit at this point.
At Miami, the Dolphins are going to lay 4.5 to the visiting Seattle Seahawks. So I thought about this one long and hard, but oh my goodness, did I just screw that up?
No.
Did I say Seattle? I said Seattle. It's St. Louis.
Seattle, St. Louis.
Oh my gosh, this is the point. If you're watching or listening to audio, you won't see this. At Miami, the Dolphins are going to lay 4.5 to the St. Louis Rams, and I'm taking the St. Louis Rams getting the 4. Who you got?
Yes, sir. I try not to be prejudiced against Miami because I didn't think they were very good and weren't going to win very much, and they've shocked me a little bit. But I'm liking those Rams. I think this will be a good game.
New England will lay 3.5 on the road at Seattle. I'm taking New England laying the 3.5 on the road. I think that Seattle's defense is very stout, but I think New England's going to find some holes, and I think Seattle is just going to keep them in the game and lose this one at the end. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'd like to take Seattle, but New England's just got too much firepower, and I think New England's defense, and Belichick is so well known for messing into the heads of young quarterbacks. I'm going to bank on that. 3.5 when you talk about Patriots and the way they can open it up. That's not a lot of points. So
no.
I'm going to take the road favorite.
At Arizona, the Cardinals are going to lay 4 to the Buffalo Bills. Oh, gosh, man. Just game after game of I don't know which way this could go. I mean, this could be bad either way. But I'll take Arizona laying the 4. Buffalo is just not so hot. So who are you taking?
I am going to pick Buffalo to actually show up this week. Arizona has both running backs down, offensive line problems. All they really bring is the defense, and that's not going to probably score you. Well, could score you some points against Fitzpatrick. But no, I'm taking the Bills to show up and play a game for once here.
At Washington, the Redskins, led by Bob Griffin III, are going to lay 2 points to the Minnesota Vikings. The 2 Jordans. I'm going to take the 2 Jordans in this one, Minnesota. They're going to get this one done. They're going to win this one outright. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I was surprised on this one that Washington was the favorite. I know they're at home, but I don't think that really means a whole lot. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think Minnesota wins this game outright.
At San Francisco, the 49ers are going to lay 6.5 to the New York Football Giants. I think 6.5 is outrageous.
Outrageous.
I'm taking the Giants with that 6.5, and I think they have a chance to just win this game straight up. Who are you taking?
Yeah, San Francisco has outscored their opponents in the last 2 games 79-3, so I'm saying they pretty much blown their wad on this one. So I just don't know how you can be favored by 6.5 over a team that doesn't really matter what injuries they have. Their quarterback can bring the team back in the fourth quarter, and I think that's when you need to be tuned in is the fourth quarter, because I think this is going to be a lot closer game than 6.5.
Did you just make a Lawrence Taylor type Tebow reference?
It was almost.
Gotcha. The Sunday night game is at Houston at Barbecue Sauce Stadium.
Good.
Where the Houston Texans are going to be spreading that barbecue sauce all over the place. They're going to lay 3.5 points to the visiting Green Bay Packers. Man, I would love to take Green Bay, but at this point, the refs are against them. I'm taking Houston minus the 3.5. Even without Cushing, I think they can do just enough to slow up Green Bay, and Houston can score this year. So I'm very impressed with them. So who are you taking, Mello?
Yeah, the national pundits crack me up with every time this team's desperate, needs to win. That doesn't matter. You can be as desperate as you want to be. When you're up against a better team, that's too bad. And I'm just saying, Green Bay is what they are. They've lost more games than they've won. You know, they've lost some heartbreakers and such, but that's the way it goes. They're not that 15-1 team from before, so people need to let that go. Houston, in my mind, is the best team in football. I picked them every week. Last week was the first week they didn't cover. I'm not abandoning the system at this point. I'm sticking with Houston.
And then the Monday night game, it's going to be at San Diego. The Chargers are going to face off with the Denver Broncos, and this game is a straight-up pick, Mello. So I don't know about that AFC West, man. What a division that is. But I'm going to take San Diego. I'm just going to take my gut feeling, and it initially was saying that San Diego's going to win this. What about you?
Yeah, I got San Diego as well. I'm not, I love Manning and all that business, but that doesn't mean I'm going to pick him to win every week, and I'm not picking him to win this week. Sorry.
Isn't that the hard part of picking against the spread, though, Mello, is sometimes you have your favorite players, you have your gut feeling, all that stuff. Doesn't it kind of reduce the objectivity sometimes?
Yeah, it does, but I always go by what a friend of mine that was a bookie many years ago told me. In the end, go with your gut feeling on these things, because if you don't, you'll get a stomachache.
Prothetic statement right there. That's epic. Epic. Mello, any final thoughts before we call this show to a close?
Your home teams rallied last week to go a combined 9-5.
Wow.
Making your dogs the 5-9er. But your continued best bet, believe it or not, is a home underdog followed by a road dog.
Really? A home
Double
underdog?
Dog. Home underdogs
followed
are
by
18-12.
Road dog.
Road dogs 26-19-2.
Wow, man.
And the others are losing. Home favorites and road favorites are both losing propositions overall to this point.
Ouch.
Big spreads 5-7-2.
Wow. Ugh, well, that probably should have tossed that out at the beginning of the pick.
Oh, I like to hold those little nuggets back till after you've given your pick.
Luckily, this was for entertainment purposes only, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me go cancel some things real quick. No, just kidding. Joking, people. Mello, anything else?
You made note of the Lions' much vaunted front four. I'm looking throughout the league, and I'm not seeing these front fours I'm hearing everybody talk about these great front fours, but when I sit down and watch a game, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it from them. I'm not seeing it from the Giants. I'm not seeing it, not on a consistent basis anyway. They make a few plays here and there, but this really getting after, I'm not seeing it.
And I wonder what's going on, because a lot of these running backs, I don't know if you've noticed in the last few weeks of the show how many times we've talked about running backs mouthing off about they're going to find some candy or, openings in that front line.
Yeah.
And I don't recall, this is our 7th season of doing this. I don't recall any other time where we've heard more running backs just confident that they will find some openings on these defensive lines. So I wonder if there's something with the rules or something that has changed a little bit, which makes these guys more confident like this. But you're right. They have they've kind of diminished the defensive fronts. The power of the defensive front used to be able to overcome whole other teams,
Yep.
If you had a good front four, you didn't have to have good corners. You didn't have to have good safeties. You didn't have to have a good offense. And now, I don't know. This season.
Now they're paying these front fours like they're really that good, but I'm just not seeing the production.
No, it's not happening. So far this year, I haven't seen any standout where everybody on the front line did their part.
I am watching specifically on some plays, and guys are getting handled. They're getting stalemated. They're not imposing their will on anybody, but yet the talk still continues to go on about these much vaunted front fours or front sevens, and I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, it's we're in a society of football where you got to bring heat to get to the quarterback or to stop the run. You got to bring extra guys, and it used to not be like that.
True that.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Mello's NFL Weekly. We are the NFL Fan Podcast. You can always check us out on TPEnetwork.com. Yes, we switched domain names. TPEnetwork.com. For Mello Betts, I'm Hank Davis. Until next time, we're signing off.
If you have comments or feedback, you can email the guys at tprfans@yahoo.com. That's TPRFANS@yahoo.com, or call the voicemail line at +1 810 309 8445.